name's Owen, and I'm the Dungeon Master of our Return of the Giants 5th edition homebrew campaign.
Hi, I'm Ali. I'm playing Lyra, the Eladrin Spore Druid, and she is just a little bit obsessed with mushrooms.
Hi, my name's Simon. I'm playing the character of Ember. I'm a wildfire druid who's on a quest to be the very best there ever was.
Hi, I'm Dave, and I play Harry Harrington, the Harrengon, the roguish merchant with the heart of gold.
My name is Christian. I'm playing Bartholomew, the romantic dancing Owlin, Paladin of devotion.
Hi, my name is Matt, and I'll be playing Niles Silverwind, the Owlin, Way of the Sympathy Monk.
Hey guys, I'm Jared. I play the character of Threign, the boisterous frost giant, the Goliath, path of the giant Barbarian.
Hello there, lovely listener. This is just a warning to let you know that this episode of Return of the Giants may contain adult language or adult themes. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Lost Archives. It is wonderful to be here, wonderful to be sharing our adventures with you once again, and we are here playing Return of the Giants, the premier Dungeons & Dragons homebrew campaign, using a mixture of 5th edition and 2024 5th edition rules. We are very excited to be jumping back in. We had a very, very exciting episode last week, a very lore-heavy and tension-heavy session. We still managed to get some laughs in with the summoning of certain NPCs, so we're going to be jumping back in. I'm not going to keep us too long before we do so. Just a couple of quick announcements. Jared is still away. I think I announced last week that he'd be taking a little bit of a hiatus. That's going to continue. I'll let you know when he's coming back. Hopefully I'll be able to just be like, and Jared's back! And we'll have him back in sometime soon. But for the time being, Jared's still away on hiatus. Simon is with us. If you're watching the stream or YouTube at the moment, you'll see his camera's off. That's just because Simon's munching down some dinner, I believe. Is that fair to say, Si?
That is very fair, Owen. I'll have my camera on in a moment.
Look, I totally understand. Ember would like some more. I totally understand. I quickly smashed a taco right as we were going live. Christian, if he had not been moving away from his camera the second I turned mine on, would have seen me with mouth bulging full chipmunk as I tried to continue masticating the why am I choosing that word? Continue chewing the
He smashed it and he's masticating with it.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, Dave, you're working. The camera's on.
Dave is here. Dave's hey, there we go. The other fun announcements to share, the Wandering Village. I've touched on this before, but the Wandering Village has a huge update coming soon. For those who aren't aware, the Wandering Village is a really cozy, kind of like colony survival game, I guess, or I'd say village building, colony survival game where you're building your town and your colony on the back of an enormous creature wandering a poisoned and destroyed earth. It's very Nausicaa Valley of the Wind, very Studio Ghibli artwork. The artwork is incredible. It's all hand-drawn. It looks amazing. I've played this a number of times with each new update. It's still early access. The 1.0 release is, I think, not too far away. I believe this is the last really big update before the final release. It's coming out really, really soon. You can get access to it early if you sign up for the beta through Steam. I thoroughly recommend it. It's so good. The latest update is brilliant. I cannot wait to play the final release. So very excited for that. The other exciting news in gaming, I don't know who's seen, Subnautica 2 has just been announced, and it is multiplayer up to 4 people. It looks so good. Subnautica is probably one of my favorite games of all time. Below Zero was good. I liked Below Zero. It was all right. I know it got a bit of hate. I actually quite enjoyed Below Zero, but I am very hyped for Subnautica 2. So we'll be definitely playing around with that. And I think it probably is time for me to do a re-record of Subnautica and play it through just to get myself all excited and ready to go. So I'll have some of that coming shortly as well. I think they're the only major fun announcements to share. Just that all the lovely people watching on YouTube, at this point, while we're recording this live, we have not yet hit the 1.5k subs. If you're watching this and we haven't yet already, and you haven't subscribed, you could be that person just to hit the button and take us over to 1.5k. That would be amazing if you could help us out in that way. For all those legends who've already subscribed, thank you so much. I can't believe that we're hitting 1.5k subs before. I sort of said, it'd be great if we could hit it before the end of the year. It's just mind-blowing that we're going to probably hit that even before the end of October. So thank you so much, everybody who's helped us hit that goal. There will be a poll coming out for a special Q&A celebration special episode. Once we hit that 1.5k, you can choose which series you'd like to have a special Q&A on. It's going to be a mid-season Q&A. I will answer any and all questions as best I can without giving away too many spoilers, and we'll have as many of the cast here as we can as well. It'll be a really fun way to kind of explore what might have been, had decisions been taken differently, and go through some of the things about the characters that we've not yet fully explored. And there are always lots of fun to do. And you can hear Cora's gonna... Was that Cora or Poppy? No, Poppy. I was gonna say, and Poppy's, as you can hear, open to answering all questions.
He's very happy.
Poppy answers all
questions. He does.
I think they're the only announcements I have to share. So without any further ado, let's jump into the session. Let's do the recap. Let's jump in. It was a spicy session last time. So let's jump straight back in. The Tempest Adventuring Guild, a name now legendary across the lands of Nostea, has formed a brand new team. Lyra, Niles, Harry, Ember, Threign, and newcomer Bartholomew are exploring the vast caverns of the Underdark. Drawn below by rumours of stone giants taking over territory, it has come to light that the Duergar are providing the stone giants with slaves as part of a massive mining operation. After assisting the gnomes of Blindenstone reclaiming their fortress home from a draconic Behir, the plan is now set to head deeper into the caverns, territory known to be occupied by Duergar and stone giants. After experiencing another giant dream, this one taking place in the stone giant city of Tontenur, the group have made their way into the Dorcha Chasm in search of the remnants of this lost city. Tracking the edge of the Dark Lake to the deep fissure heading to the Forge Halls, the team eventually found themselves above a river of lava, slowly flowing towards a distant cavern full of enormous stone spires, the only remains of the once beautiful giant city. With the only visible path into the city guarded by Duergar watchtowers and gatehouses, the team decided on infiltration rather than a full-on assault. Ember used his Firbolg magic to disguise himself as a Duergar, the rest blocking manacles and shackles to their arms and necks to help sell this illusion. Making their way to the gatehouse, the group watched as a battalion of armoured Duergar made their way across the bridge, but paid little attention to the party. Emboldened, their plan almost fell apart when one of the guards approached Ember and called out something in Dwarvish, the party suddenly realising Ember doesn't speak that language. Harry, though, was able to sneakily translate enough for Ember to convince the dwarves to switch to Common, and the party revealed Bart to the Duergar. The team quickly ushered across the bridge to deliver this precious cargo back to Obsidian Foot. Entering the dwarven-controlled region of Tontenur, the team soon began to realise the Duergar had been here for some time, slowly taking over more and more of the ruined stone giant city and converting it into their own outpost. A large part of the operation seemed to be focused on the collection of the giant metal to melt down, its unique properties making it ideal for strong but lightweight armour. After coming across a group of deep gnome slaves being led by a rather gruff-looking Duergar, Ember attempted to convince the slaver to lead the group to Obsidian Foot. Making their way across a damaged stone spire, the group suddenly came to a stop. A lone stone giant making its way into the dwarven-controlled part of the city, looking around, confused. Taking advantage of this momentary confusion, Bart shouted out the name of Harry's giant echo, causing the giant to focus on them, heartstones connecting the party to the stone giant. Emerging from a side street, Obsidian Foot, flanked by a number of Duergar dressed in armour made from the melted down giant metal, Obsidian Foot raised his hammer aloft and a sudden wave of fear emanated from the stone embedded in it, the team suddenly finding themselves seeing Elder Hunmar, the giant leader, where once Obsidian Foot had stood. All of the team except Ember and Bart, who were able to resist the effects of the magic. Instead, they watched as Obsidian Foot used this guise to force the stone giant back to work excavating the city. With the stone giant now departing, the group were about to make their way to the command tower when Niles accidentally reveals the heartstones embedded into the hands of the party. The situation suddenly looking a little more dire, Bart called out loudly, accusing the Duergar slaver of attempting to undermine Obsidian Foot. Moments later, the masked stone guards of Obsidian Foot arrived and took the party and the slaver prisoner, escorting them to a cell within the command tower. On the way, Niles spotted a rather unexpected sight, an Owlin flying down from the gloom towards the structure, a fellow member of the Silverwind family and Niles' cousin called Nyx. Trapped in the cells and aware the magic powering Ember's disguise would soon fade, the team quietly took out the slaver and prepared to escape from the cell when an opportunity best presented itself. Listening at the door, Harry overheard a conversation between Obsidian Foot and Nyx discussing the creation of lightweight armor for use by Aarakocra soldiers. Obsidian Foot also revealing he had recaptured Bart and describing Niles to her. Lyra realized it probably was time to use her magic to summon some extra help. She cast a number of spells including Summon Dead and Conjure Fey in the hopes of calling upon some Myconid assistance. Instead, the spell went wild and pulled through a male spring Eladrin called Dewey Gonabrook, who seemed just as surprised as the party at his sudden conjuration. But, feeling a little distrustful of this stranger, cast Zone of Truth to try and tease out some more information. To Bart's surprise, though, the only person to resist the effects of this spell was Harry. And that is where we left off last session. As Bart...
Didn't Harry fail the save?
Harry tried to resist and failed.
Oh, sorry. Okay.
But you know when someone tries to resist.
Yeah.
Right, like the spell lets you know when someone's trying to resist it, yeah. As Bart, as you unleash this magic, what does the spell Zone of Truth look like when Bart casts it? Are there any specific things you do? Any specific sigils you draw? Do you pluck out a feather and hold it aloft, its light, projecting truth and goodness? What does it look like?
This is the very first time that Bart has done it. And Oath of Devotion, this his powers sort of being unlocked, whether it was through genealogy experimentation from his parents or not, but it all sort of had to do with his with love, Satine, friends, and whatnot. So I'd like to think that it's a lot of his powers are all very unrefined at the moment. It's just a burst of holy energy, but this one formulates into what first is a burst and sort of sprinkling down little glitters that are all golden that fall, and then as they fall they begin to show these invisible threads between each of us, connecting all of us, as I can tell when a lie is spoken, which might cause some sort of a twing on one of the threads. Nice. As it shows all of our bonds to one another.
That's really cool. The other idea I just had as you were saying that was like you pluck one of the feathers and place it down on a scroll, and any time a lie is spoken, the feather records the lie. I was like, oh. No, I like it. It was really good. That's really cool, having like the strings of magic. Almost like a visible version of the weave, allowing you to feel the tension when someone's heart is untrue. I like that a lot.
Ostas, did you mention the shiny set, the possible one-way mirror that we found?
That's a good point. As Harry was investigating the walls looking for a secret entrance, towards the south, Harry, you discovered with an investigation of 20, I believe it was, a section of the wall was actually protected and covered by an illusion, made to look like the rocky surface, but as you run your hands over it, it feels cool and smooth, like glass or crystal. And as you run your hand, you hear this like little faint, almost like I guess it would be like a streaking kind of noise as you run across run your hand across this possibly two-way glass.
Harry licks the wall.
You lick the wall.
Yep.
It tastes, a little bit cold, very slightly metallic, Harry. There's a bit of dust as well as you sort of lick it, but as you put your face right up against it, your rabbit nose is kind of preventing you a bit here, your muzzle. You can't quite get your eyes close enough to push through the illusion, but as you push your nose against the glass and then lick up, a bit dusty, a bit cold, a bit metallic. And you hear this like sound as you run your tongue across this glassy surface. Do you then inflate your cheeks up against go? Try and yeah. I think we all know what you're trying to do there. I'm not going to do it on stream. I feel like that's a one-way ticket to getting it clipped.
And that's a more reason for you to do it then, right?
Normally I don't catch myself. Tonight I have caught myself.
I'll approach up to Dewey in a bit of like a frustrated march. We've got enough to do already. You say you're our ally. Let's get a couple of questions out of the way. What's your name?
Dewey Gonabrook. That is not a lie. I'll tell you if it's a lie. How about that?
Yeah.
He can't lie.
Well, he can't.
He can't lie.
Physically can't lie.
Yeah. Dewey Gonabrook.
So he can speak around the truth, but obviously I don't have a way of knowing that or not. So I'm just trying to ask him. Dewey, what do you say? Gonabrook?
Gonabrook. Gonabr.
Gonabrook. Okay. Where are you from?
I'm from the Feywilds, originally.
Okay. You don't know who she is. I'm going to point to Lyra.
Yes, her name's Lyra.
Before that, did you know who she was?
He looks at her
Before
and goes,
meeting her right now.
I did not know her before meeting her right now, no.
And had you heard of her before meeting her right now?
I had heard the name before, yes, in the Feywilds.
Where?
Believe it was Titania's court? Yes, it would have been Titania's court.
Are you a member of Titania's court?
Oh no, I'm simply a ladder. I'm not important enough to be joining the Archfey. No.
Question, real quick.
Yes.
As this is happening, granted that Niles is a bit of a fanboy of the Tep skills.
Oh yeah.
How would he know that Jin has any standing with the Feywilds, or would he not know that?
Was Jin fairly open with that information? Yes.
I don't remember.
Jin,
I think he was.
He
wasn't
was. He was. I don't think Jin took any great pains to keep that many secrets that weren't related to Varys. So
yes, Varys was the we don't talk
only
about
thing.
Varys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But when he got the loot, that was the special loot. He was very open about that.
I think it's very in keeping with Jin's character that he would have absolutely bragged, I've got a special loot. It's from the Queen of Fairies. I think that's something he would have done at multiple times to show off. I'm the best bard.
Yeah. So, because at this point, I would Niles would probably turn around and go, "Oh, you wouldn't happen to know a fellow called Jin, would you?"
Jin, elvish fellow some of the time, changeling most of the time.
Yeah. Oh, yes. That's the one.
I've met him once, very briefly.
Oh, interesting. I haven't seen him. Well, I don't think I've actually met him, but I've heard of his escapades. He was quite a valued member of this adventuring league.
Oh, are you all members of the same little club? What are they called? The Harpers?
Not the Harpers. We're actually part of the... Well, it's actually easier if I give you a card.
Do the Harpers exist on Nostea?
Yes, they do. Yeah, a version of them.
Okay.
They're a subgroup of the Bards College. Yeah.
Wasn't sure if we were leading into multiverse stuff now, and he was talking about the Faerun and he'd been to multiple mortal realms.
Oh yeah, well that's a good point actually.
I've adapted the Harpers because obviously we're doing Tyranny of Dragons. The Harpers play a pretty big role in that, so I adapted them into a subset of the College of Bards in Palin, and Oxenford as well. But basically like a secret society of bards within the College of Bards. Good question.
Okay, what do you want right now?
Oh, I'd really like not to have to fight or kill anyone, especially get covered in blood. I'd like to get out of this prison cell. The grand scheme of things.
Yes. We're trying to save some people. You've been pulled into this universe. Are you wanting to get back home? Is there a reason you're here?
Oh, I mean, eventually I'd like to get her. I mean, she summoned me. That's why I'm here right now. Her magic.
Okay, that's good enough for me. I think now is a good enough time. I can tell from our twings. We've been through a lot of stuff. I had my mind probed by an alien. Is everyone here allies of one another? And I'm going to look to the entire group.
Of course.
Absolutely.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay.
Did Dewey answer that?
Well, it sounded like Bart was turning away from Dewey and looking at the rest of the group. If you turn back to Dewey, he'll answer. But I just assumed because you said I turn away and look to the rest of the group.
Yeah. This was to all of us. Just a little twinge of uncertainty with the knowledge of Niles' information of his family and stuff. I just a little bit of naive, childish frustration because obviously Bart's still in very early 20s.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything any of you would like to ask our friend here or have been on each other's minds? Right now, this is a room where we can form some proper trust.
Is he okay? As he points at the corpse of the Duergar in the corner of the room.
He's dead.
No,
He's a zombie. I think, had you commanded him to stand up and start walking around again, or is he still in zombie? Oh, no.
not yet.
He's still dead.
I was just going to say he's sleeping.
That's a lie. You can't say that.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't raised him, so technically he is at rest.
At rest would work. You could say that. Sleeping, you can't say. Sleeping is a lie. At rest is not a lie.
Can I turn to Dewey?
Hello.
Sorry, and just ask,
There you go.
you're not going to try and take me back to the Feywilds or tell anyone where I am so that someone else can come to take me back to the Feywilds or seek?
Not right now. I can't promise that I'll never tell anyone you were here. I mean, my loyalties are to my own people. If someone asks me where you're here, I probably would answer yes.
Who are you loyal to?
Oh, my friends, my family, those who have earned my trust and those who have treated me well.
Any particular groups or organizations?
Oh, I mean...
Other than the court.
Organizations. It's not anything as exciting as that.
Groups, then.
Groups? Like you lot. I've not really had much to do with groups of adventurers before in like a friendship kind of way. I mean, I've spent an evening or two with a member of a group on occasion. Is that the kind of groups you're talking about?
I mean, friendships and, whether you've spent any particular time with them and loyalties are kind of two different things.
Exactly. Which one are you after? We're confused by the question.
Asking, are you loyal to any particular groups or organizations whose overall values, or maybe you're forced to follow their teachings or ways?
No,
behave in a way that they demand.
I'm not forced to follow any commands or teachings, unless you count being raised in an environment as being forced, having those groups' values instilled into you. No, I don't think so. No.
Have you heard of the giants returning in the Feywild?
Yeah, what's the talk of all the realms? The giants mysteriously appearing once again. Of course I have. Who hasn't?
What's your take in the Feywilds about it all?
My take in the Feywild, those discussions are a little bit above what I'm involved with.
Oh, but sure, I'm sure you hear things in the court. Idle gossip.
I prefer not to discuss matters of the court with strangers. It is something that I'm not encouraged to share, and while I do respect that you must know things about me so that you can trust me and know that I'm not going to stab you in the back, I do have to say that there are some things I would prefer not to share. Any discussions of what happens in the Sealy court, I'm not really at liberty to talk about.
For the safety of our group, you mentioned Titania spoke of Lyra's name.
No, I never said that. I just said I'd heard the name in the court.
Okay. Does anyone in the court want her?
Well, is there any reason that they would? Has Lyra done anything with certain Fae that might encourage such a reaction? That would be a better question.
I'm going to insight check him with this line of questioning, because not necessarily because he's like lying, but I want to note his body language more than
for sure.
Yeah. Cool.
Also, you mentioned across the realms.
I did, yes.
As far as I'm aware, the Feywild should still be isolated.
Oh, my dear, you're serious? No, it was your little plane that was isolated. The Feywild's always been able to access many realms, many places. We have wanderers and visitors alike who come for nights, days, and years of delights. No, it was your little place that was all off on its own. No, not the Feywild.
Just tracing back, I would really appreciate a yes or no answer. Are there any members of the court that want Lyra?
Oh, it's It's not something they would have discussed with me.
Whether they discussed it or not, as far as you're aware, does anyone want her?
You are asking me to potentially speak of matters of the court, which I'm not really at liberty to talk about.
I understand that, but this is for the safety of our group member. If we're going to take you in, help you get back home, not leave you down here, or see you as an enemy. Yes
You lot
or
summoned
no?
me here. Come now, let's be reasonable. I was just doing my own thing.
I didn't summon you here.
Well, then who did?
I mean, I opened up a spell, but it was not for a living corporeal Eladrin to walk through.
I have some knowledge of magic. What spell were you casting?
Summon Fey energy.
Looks down at himself and goes, I have quite a lot of Fey energy.
Well, it must be a new variant of the spell then, because, as far as I'm aware, it, shouldn't be able to summon, someone from, as you mentioned yourself, someone from the Feywilds to this plane, which in itself is quite isolated.
Oh, I said it was isolated. It's not anymore. Sure. Do you not know what's happened since the giants got back?
Oh no, actually not. We're curious to know what's going on.
The pathways are open. Any protection or barriers or locks upon the gates are gone. This is free range once again.
I will look to Niles about that.
Yeah.
Our people.
Yes, indeed.
I'm going to shoot over to Harry, who's licking a crate at the moment, or a grate, sorry.
No, he's licking a stone wall. To your eyes, he's gone up to the southern wall and he's going up
Harry,
against it.
Harry,
It's a bit dusty.
There's a window here.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know it's a window. Well, it's like a surface that sounds like glass, but like it may not be. But I can't see through it.
I'm gonna tap the wall.
Ding, ding, ding.
Can Harry
tap
put
the
his
glass?
ear up against the wall?
I'll walk over to Harry as well. I'm going to walk past Dewey, however, and just like quietly. We're not finished here.
Dewey lets his hand trail across one of your feathers as you leave. As you walk. She goes, I hope not. I hope not. As you head on over, Harry, as you press your ear against the glass, could I grab a perception or investigation check, please?
Yes, you can.
Hoping to catch Harry while he's multitasking, so he doesn't have too much to think and respond. Harry,
Natural one, Harry.
That one.
is there anything you know about your pact with Figment that you're not telling us, or you haven't told us, or have been hiding?
Oh, you distracting me. I'll do this later. I haven't told you.
No, you don't have to say what it is. I just simply want to just keep it simple. Is there anything about Figment that you've been hiding from us?
Not hiding. If I haven't said, it's just because I genuinely didn't think of it as something I needed to say.
Okay.
But definitely not hiding.
And not malicious at all for your own gain. Like you said, more, if anything, an innocent mistake.
100%. What do I have to gain from hiding things? I mentioned he wants to find the power source in the stone giant city. He mentioned that he wants to get stronger and bigger and more capable by absorbing more things of the archivists.
DM.
And he's spoken to both of us, actually. So
as Harry's talking, is there a thread connected to Figment and Harry's hand?
Ooh.
That's a good question. There would have to be, because Figment does reside. His consciousness resides within
Physically
the stone.
here, right?
He is
Yeah.
physically inside the stone.
Whoa.
So yes is the answer to your question.
That's
Okay.
And does they resist?
Is he going to do a saving throw, or I just want to check?
I'll roll
How does
for
that work?
I'll roll for Figment to do a charisma saving throw. Actually, Harry, can you roll me a d20 and I'll add Figment's modifiers to this. I think it's only fair that Harry rolls this.
16. Oh, that's a good roll.
That's a 14. I'm not going to tell you what it's plus, but I will tell you that he does definitely succeed against that.
Okay.
To be
he
fair,
wanted to resist it.
from his perspective, suddenly magic being cast in his vicinity, he's default going to resist it. Like,
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, that's
and
fair.
also his, almost like his controller, Harry, tried to resist it, so he would follow suit.
100%. Yeah, as soon as Harry resisted,
Was.
he
Default setting.
definitely succeeds.
Harry, where's this heart you always speak about? What is it?
Heart of gold.
I think we've joked about it. I don't actively speak about it. It is, well, it's not quite with me anymore.
Was it someone's heart?
It's a heart of gold. It's not like a real heart.
Okay.
It's not like a beating heart inside a body.
Because I
That's
removed
what I
it. It's no longer beating and it's no longer in a body.
Beating anymore.
Sorry, Dave. It's funny. I had this as one of the character questions for Harry. Is like, where do you keep the heart of gold? So it's funny for the AMA. So it's funny that this has come up now with Zone of Truth.
So good.
Oh man.
It's hard in the sense of like it was core or something.
Okay.
Yeah.
The core of like a warforged?
Well, I'd rather not say in case there's someone listening to us on the other side of this window.
It's a natural one. Harry, there's no one listening on the side of this window. It's not even a window. You think this is some natural phenomenon. There's like a crystal that's projecting some reflected light. You were wrong. It's not glass. It's just the stone wall. There's like this weird refraction going on. It's fine. It's nothing to worry about.
I think Niles would still want to inspect it.
Oh yeah, it's only Harry who rolled a natural one for his perception.
Yeah, well, like, because
What are you expecting? There's nothing here.
I've already hit it, and like it sounded a bit funny. I'm still going to investigate it. Like I know that Harry is saying that it's nothing, but I want to get up close and check
Perception or
I don't think you
investigation
guys
check.
that. Perception.
You know if you guys would have the shatter spell prepared by any chance, would you?
I unprepared it.
That's how I removed the heart. I shattered everything else.
I had it in stock.
16.
And when we leveled up, I removed it.
Niles, as you move closer, running your claw down the glass, there's this momentary scraping sound. As you pull your claw away, your talon away, you see little flecks of this clear substance, this clear powderous substance that comes away in your claws. And then you hear, Niles, just at the edge of your hearing, the tap, tap, tap you did repeated back at you. Dunk, 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 on the other side of the glass.
What if it's Chernobyl? They would want to have a secret exit to a torture chamber. Why would the Duragar need it? I am going to, as this is having a look over to Ember, I did want to get this out of the way. Lineage is an important thing, and we've learnt a lot about this from interactions with Threign. Are your loyalties to the guild or to the giant race, Ember?
I mean, I'm loyal to the people that I'm with, the ones that are on my side, not necessarily an entire race, but a group of people.
I understand, like, the people that are there for you, but I guess that's... Everything seems to be pushing towards civil wars, giants fighting one another, Hadar, chaos. Allies where we can find them is important. With all other things disconsidered, would you say that your loyalties lie more with the Tempest Guild or more with your blood?
That's a
I would
good
say
question.
the people in my own home village would be strong with
Your
those
circle.
people,
Yeah.
but not the way that we are raised and brought up is to keep everything in harmony. If the Tempest Guild was to decide to, I don't know, destroy people, or I even had issues with you just killing that Duragar in the corner. So
Oh, that was me. Sorry.
No, I'm just pointing in general because everyone seemed to run up and wanting to kill him. If you were to do that to other people, I don't think that we would be siding with you. No.
Okay, that's fine. I know that with Threign, ancestral honor is very important, and that could cause problems in the future, depending on if more of the giants act in the way the stone giants have. Just a question I wanted to clear my mind of.
No,
Do any of you have anything for anyone else? Myself? I don't want us to get off track as well of the complete stranger that's just appeared that keeps avoiding the question on whether or not Lyra is wanted by someone.
He waves and gives you a little blows a kiss to you, but...
Did want to ask him one more question if I can.
Hello.
Hey, Huey, did you or someone else, like, intend for you or I guess someone else to come through this portal? Like, was it an intentional crossing?
He sort of like looks and goes, it wasn't my magic. I don't feel competent enough to comment on something like that.
Shut up.
Come
Answer her question.
I cast the spell, but, you would have had to have been walked through it or someone pushed you through it.
There was no portal on my side. How it appeared when I stepped through was not what it looked like. I suddenly saw this flash of green. I was going about my business, enjoying a lovely stroll up one of the main paths of Eladrin, the main city of the Summer Wilds. And the next thing I know, there's this flash of green all around me. I feel this sensation like my stomach is dropping down and then rising back up in my throat, rising almost like bile within my esophagus. And then the next second I know, I'm falling. I reach out my hand and you grabbed it.
So your arrival was a mistake?
Well, it certainly wasn't intended by me.
It wasn't intended by anyone else either other than myself. Well, I mean, it wasn't even intended by myself, but...
He shrugs, looking really confused.
I'm just going to shoulder past him and head to the door. I'm so done with Dewey already.
Dewey, we need to hear the word yes or no.
I can't answer. What if I don't have a solid answer like that for you?
My head's going to 180 owl. That's answer enough then, I think.
Yeah, it's you can't answer if you're not telling the truth.
Which means if you're not answering, then we obviously know that it's...
As far as you're aware, it's not the truth in the grand scheme of the universe. It is as far as you are aware.
In that case, then, with all the available information, and as far as I am aware, there must have been some intention. Not from myself, but from somewhere else, or someone else, for magic like that to go wrong, to pull me instead of some fey spirit. It would have to have been intentional. Unless, of course, your magic has malfunctioned in the past, gone a bit squiggly. Have you had instances of magic not quite working how you intended previously?
Oh, all the time. Was it, as far as you're aware...
He just sort of nods and goes...
Was it the courts? As far as you're aware, did the courts interfere?
As far as I'm aware, the courts be interfering with your magic. Again, you're a bit concerned about the courts. Is there some reason you're so suspicious the courts are after you? Have you somehow wronged the Sealy court, Lyra? Is there some reason Queen Titania would send a hunter after you?
100% look at Lyra for that question.
Because that is a pretty serious accusation, and one that you'd have to be. It must be something you know to be asking those questions, surely, Lyra.
Do you know the answer to that question?
He nods and smiles. I do.
Oh.
But again,
then I can say
it is sensitive information the courts have discussed, and I don't know the full story. I only know a little bit.
Well, I guess she sort of looks at the others, and she's like, well, I don't know how much you know, but hey, what the hell? It's probably going to backfire at me anyway. As far as I'm aware, I owe a unspecified favor.
To
the court.
To the court? The Unseelie court?
Unseelie, I'm not actually sure.
She's not, and there is a big difference. For anyone who's familiar with the Fae, a blank check to the Seelie Court is bad enough. A blank check to the Unseelie Court
That would be very bad.
is horrifically stupid.
Huey, you
Hello.
said you weren't a member of the Seelie Court. Are you a member of the Unseelie Court?
Oh no, again, I'm not so much Fae. I'm just in Eladrin.
Okay. Do you work for the Unseelie Court?
I work for myself. Occasionally, that requires tasks to be completed for the Seelie. Sometimes
frustrating.
tasks to be completed for the Unseelie doesn't do well to limit oneself so strongly. But I can say that for the last 80 years, my loyalties have lied with the Seelie Court. The Unseelie Court are a bit distasteful in how they handle things, and often the requests they have of me result in lots of blood. Ugh,
So as
cannot
far as we're
stand
aware,
this stuff.
81 years ago, you could have been a member of the Unseelie Court, and now you're a double spy.
I have
what you're saying.
never been a member of the Unseelie Court, nor am I a spy for them.
I think this line. I think we just need to think about the current situation. I think this room is doing us more harm than good. Whether or not we like it or not, this fellow is with us, so we have to figure out what that looks like. Now, Dewey,
Hello.
you are aware of the situation that we're in, yes?
Well, vaguely, you said that you've been captured by Dwergar and that they were going to murder you, but you were going to murder them before they could murder you.
Well, not really. I mean, the evidence does point to that, but I can assure you that the reason that we're here is to take out their leader.
Oh, so you have to assassinate someone? Well, that sounds legitimate behavior.
Well,
The
you might
Duragar here
feel-
have been making deep gnomes in en masse as a race to genocidally, well, not genocidally, racially enslave them,
But that's fucked.
spreading across most of the Underdark, and at the same time, they're also mind-fucking and enslaving stone giants, making them believe that their king is actually here. The Duragar are doing all of this so that they can fuel a war that the Aarakocra are about to start, and so they can eradicate mountain dwarves. We're trying to stop all of that.
Right, so the Dwergar are mining with the help of the stone giants to create armor and weapons for some great conflict that's coming. Sounds like two conflicts, the mountain dwarves and...
Possibly more, yes.
Because you...
There's also dealings of them giving stuff to Drow. These Duragar are the birthplace for a lot of troubles that are about to begin.
Well, I should make sure I write that in my report.
Hey, Joey, you're not going to double cross us, are you? Or just cross us in general and do something to harm us, are you?
Harm is the last thing on my mind.
Who would have guessed a political answer? Niles, have you noticed anything on the other side of the glass?
Oh yes, there's definitely someone on the other side of it. They tapped back at me.
Great,
Being
someone's
watched.
listening to all of this. Okay.
I could, well, I guess kind of go up to Bart and I'll just stage whispers real quick. I could just break the glass with my fists.
Not a bad idea. Hey, while the spell's on, we're friends, right?
Of course.
Okay, good.
I just have some complexities, like anyone.
I know. Everyone does. I just got worried because I thought you were like my first bro, and I haven't really had one.
No,
It was cool.
I still am. You are still quite an important friend of mine, and I would love to see you return to the surface to be reunited with Satine.
Yeah, I didn't really have any friends growing up. Father sort of kept everyone away, other than Alphonse, my older brother, and other siblings. And Alphonse was always very serious. And then when I met Satine, the only times I could sneak away to see her was during dance training and practice. So I didn't really have friends per se. So it's been cool when you were like, "I'm going to help you launch a revolt for the people." I was like, "Fuck yeah!" Like, yeah.
Well, I mean, we got to get out of this situation first. It's a bit of a, but no, it's good.
Okay. Yeah, I reckon you kick the glass.
Okay. Are we okay then? Should I do it now or?
I
wait?
feel like we should let the others know. Ember did bring up a good point. We didn't really. I feel bad what happened to the Duragar now. I still hate Duragar. They literally ripped my wings off, but I don't want to antagonize him if we can help it.
Yes, I'm sorry. That was a bit of frustration on my part.
No, I was going to do it if you weren't going to. I was going to divine smite with my fist.
I'm not really. I don't like being violent, Bart. You gotta understand.
Neither. I'm all about love. That's why I didn't get along with my dad.
It's why I turned away from my family and went on a quest of self-discovery.
Yeah,
you guys are adorable. You know what you should do? You guys should break the window together.
What say you? Let's do it. I can do this anyway. I'm going to turn towards the glass and kind of give everyone a bit of a look and go, well, I've had enough of this. Shall we get going? And I will take up a stance, and very quickly I will use, because I can, with the revised monk, I can change my attack to force damage, and I'm going to go and break the glass, hopefully shattering it neatly and not causing jagged pieces to cut us to pieces when we move through it.
I would love a unarmed attack as well as damage from you, Niles. Bart, are you joining in with an unarmed attack or swinging the sword?
No, the reason I'd gone over to the door, despite Harry's awesome idea of like the what's that with like the Rock and someone else, like they jump off the roof and I forget that the police show where they both jump off together.
Oh yeah. What's it called?
I forget off the top of my head.
It's like the good guy. That's something or other.
Yeah. But I'm going to stand near the front door and I'm going to just peek. Well, not peek, I guess, because we said there's only a keyhole. I'm just going to listen and make sure that
the other guys
keys anything. My hearing's not as good as Harry, but anything obvious like the door handle being shaken, stuff like that.
Obscenities gets it.
Could I get a perception or investigation check, Bart? Niles.
It's 24 to hit.
Could you roll me some damage, please?
This is with force damage, by the way.
Yes. Noted.
This is probably a terrible idea.
But I'll position people where they are. So Niles, you're up against the glass. Harry, you're sort of still nearby as well. Yep.
Yeah, I'm egging him on.
Yeah.
I still want to get out of the room and out of this zone of truth.
Yeah. Position your tokens where they would be.
How long's it been? Is the zone of truth like still well and truly strong?
It last 10 minutes, so it'll probably go for a little longer.
It's 11 points of force damage.
Perfect.
Dewey on the map at all?
Oh, I will add Dewey to the map. Yes, good call. He's going to be standing a little bit back over near the table, close to where Ember's standing, just because he's not. There's not much he's going to offer breaking the glass, breaking the crystal. Niles. You lash out. Your mind rebelling against your eyes claiming you're about to punch a solid stone wall, your mind knowing that there's something underneath. And you feel the strike land. There's this momentary force that you push up against and you feel something crack. And then there's this explosion of sound and force that emanates back, reflected from the surface of the glass. I'm going to need Niles, Harry, and the Dwergar zombie.
Is it repelling back in?
Repelling back towards you. I'm going to need Niles, Harry, and the Dwergar zombie to make me dexterity saving throws, please.
Oops.
As the force rebounds and refocuses back.
To that.
Wait, who are the people? Was I included? Sorry.
No, you're too far away from the source of this. You are just outside the range.
Okay, that's a 14 with lucky footwork.
Oh, Harry, you may not need to use. I'm not sure if that consumes a resource for you or not.
It's just a reaction, but I'm happy to take more.
Yeah, you'll get +4 because you're within 10 feet of me. Niles, sadly, is just outside of it, but you'll get my aura.
That's fine. I don't get anything for this, so this is straight.
18 for Harry.
Alrighty,
Roll.
If we have a bit of a look, so we've got a 6 for the zombie. 14 for Harry. That's up to 18 with a +4. And then 17 for Niles.
Mm-hmm.
The explosion of force, this thunderous wave that shoots out from the glass, knocks the Dwergar corpse, knocks it back, tumbling head over heels. Harry and Niles, you manage to stay your footing, stay your ground as this effect blasts forwards, but for a second your ears ring against the deafening noise. You are both going to take 6 points of force damage. The zombie is going to take 12. Sorry, Ali.
So I think zombie. No, it does the zombie thing.
The Constitution saving throw for undead fortitude is the word we're looking for.
Yeah, that's the one.
Do we have any temp hit points at the moment, or is it not? I can't remember.
You should have had 11 if you haven't got them all.
Easy. Thank you, Bart.
You're welcome. Let my tactics fill you with energy.
How many points of damage did the zombie take again?
12.
Damn it!
Aw, the guy.
He is now a dead zombie.
Oh no!
You watch as Tim II is just very much. Harry's seen this before when Harry recovered his heart of gold by casting shatter on the body around it. He reached in, grabbed the heart, shattered the rest. No, none of this is true.
It may or may not have happened.
So he doesn't have undead fortitude.
The zombie is just blown apart. Yes, Ali.
So, did I still get Tim III out of the bag?
I believe you had got Tim III out of the bag because you were getting them out, and then you cast Summon Fae. Where would Tim III? Tim III would have been back a bit because you had that zombie pretending.
Yeah, he would have been next to me. Because Lyra is not really trusting Dewey at the moment, so she's trying to keep an eye on him, and she's going to task. Well, she was going to task one of them.
You watch as the Dwergar corpse just flies back, smashing into the fireplace at the end of the room. The neck breaks at this unnatural angle as the body tumbles head over heels right past you, Ember, before slamming into the wall with a sickening, squelching thud. And as it slowly slides down the door, your ears sort of still a bit ringing inside this room. But at the door, you hear a voice.
Oh shit!
Laughing. From the other side of the door.
Does the barrier look like it's been broken, or is it nothing happened?
As you stand up, Niles, your head's still ringing. You reach out, your hand passes through the illusion. You feel this big crack underneath your fingers. But as you run your hands over, the glass or crystal, whatever it is still intact.
I'm going to... everyone, group huddle time, please. I'm going to walk to the middle of the room.
You'll have to speak a bit louder. My ears are ringing.
Yeah,
I'm just going to wave for you to come over to me, in the middle of the room. And then, hopefully, once everyone's gathered, I don't care if Dewey's here or not at this point.
Yeah, Dewey's right up next to you. He's like, yes. Hello.
I had assumed that this was some sort of back exit or entrance in by escapees, people that didn't want to be tortured, due to the fact that it was ankle height. However, when that occurred, there was a chuckle from outside the door from the Duragar guard. My guess is this is some sort of viewing screen so that they can watch us. It would make sense that the one outside the door saw it, so I'm guessing he might have heard from whoever is outside there, stupid idiot prisoners. I thought that if they were outside, they would have interjected when we killed, and I'll nod to the guy in the corner. But if he was a failure in their eyes, maybe not. Duragar are very cold and heartless. So we need to play under the assumption that we're being watched right now.
So I'm going to pick up a shard of glass, considering that part of my backstory is that I do a lot of glass work.
Oh, you do too!
I didn't get to do this before yet, but I'm going to do investigation or arcana check, Owen, to see what kind of magic this is and potentially how thick the glass is, judging by the force you hit it with.
Ember, as you head over to the false wall, the illusionary wall, begin running your hands over it, you feel the crack that Niles has already dealt. Do you want to make me an investigation? I would say investigation or arcana. You have advantage.
Oh, wait, is it the entire wall? It's not just a small section?
It's a small section of the wall, roughly about 10 feet wide and about 8 feet tall. 13, and you get advantage, so you can roll again.
Yeah, 13.
3. We'll take the 13. Ember, as you run your hands over it, The glass has definitely cracked where Niles struck it, and you can feel the edges are sharp underneath your fingers. You're careful not to cut yourself as you run your fingers over it. This feels stronger than most glass you've worked with. I mean, the force of this crack, it hasn't fully penetrated through the glass. Whatever this sheet of glass here is, it must be very thick or somehow reinforced. You know that you can add certain chemicals and minerals to glass to strengthen it, to weaken it, to color it. This feels like some strengthened or toughened glass. And as you're running your hands over it, there's this momentary crackling, and then a voice echoes through the glass, amplified, slightly tinny, projected by magic.
Well, you won't be making that mistake again, I'm guessing. Oh, shame about the poor slaver there. Hoping we could get some information out of him. I'll make sure to cast Speak with Dead later. Learn what he knows.
I'm going to go over and rip its tongue out.
But you immediately recognize this voice. This is the voice of
I don't like
Obsidian.
violence.
As you just walk over,
I'm not
pull
a
the
violent
chin
person.
down, you reach in, rip the tongue out. You hear a chuckle from the other side of the glass.
You've gotten ruthless, Dream.
Oh, shit.
Question.
Yeah.
Was the door to the room a key lock, or was it just latched from the outside?
There is a keyhole and there's a latch on the outside.
So when they took Threign out, did I hear him lock it with a key?
You heard the lock and then the latch.
So who here has Misty Step?
Not I.
Dewey raises his hand.
Oh.
Obsidian Foot, can you hear us?
Of course I can. Been hearing every lovely chirp, every lovely word, and my companion here has too. I was willing to sit back and watch, but she's got some questions for you. Niles.
Oh, fuck. Oh, yes? Really, then?
They know about the Heart of Gold.
I think I would like to speak, preferably one-on-one with my, with her, rather than behind in this place.
There's the sound of rustling, as if feathers moving close to a microphone, and then you hear a familiar voice, Niles. Well, Niles. Did not expect to find you down here.
Likewise, Nyx.
Yes, a one-on-one chat sounds lovely. You lot, far ends of the room. I'll be in to collect Niles any moment.
Are we still gathered in the middle of the room while this is happening? Or
if you want to move around, you're welcome to. But I assume, Ember, you sort of moved up to touch the glass and feel it, and you've taken a step back from that maybe as the voice has suddenly emanated from the surface.
Gonna walk back to everyone and say, do you want to try and get through the glass now? No one's objecting. Yep.
I'm not certain if we can take this fight right now.
Okay, if you don't think we can, then...
Well, Obsidian Foot I figured we could handle. He's going to be deadly anyway, but Niles, you said that that family member of yours is worse.
She's pretty powerful.
And he does seem pretty scared of her. He says really loud into the thing so that...
Ooh. As you do, Harry, you hear a little chuckle from Nyx and the sound of someone swearing in Dwarvish. Yes, donk. From behind, roughly.
Understand that now.
Yeah.
I will sort of shrug at Ember, but I will speak up to the glass as we're still quickly just having a moment to decide. Are you the reason I'm here, voice?
You can call me Nyx, Bartholomew. No, I am not. Though I did take advantage of the opportunity your disappearance invoked.
Do you know who is behind it back in the theocracy? Obviously, I'm not any danger now here.
'Tis such a sad thing to see kin turn upon kin, is it not?
Oh, that's rich coming from you then, Nyx.
No, I'm not going to be good, but I do want to do an insight check.
Ooh.
See if she's
Niles,
saying-
you're the one who turned your back on me, on your uncle and our family's teachings. It's not too
Not
late.
on my uncle. I would never betray Otto. He was a spokesperson for good again in the Silverwind family.
Not Otto,
Didn't
my father.
Oh, Titus. Well,
He
yes,
raised
I
you,
didn't quite.
helped raise you, gave you a roost and a perch. And this is how you thank him.
I don't know if I'd call throwing an egg from the nest giving it safety.
Niles chose to fly. It's not our fault he leapt headfirst into the storm without checking where the ground was underneath him. 14.
So this was
14,
more
yeah.
specifically on when she said,
It's
like,
such a
kin.
shame when kin turns upon kin.
Yeah.
But she's deliberately choosing words to hurt you, but you don't get the sense she's lying.
Okay. That's good. It gives me a bit more assurance, to be honest, of the Silverwind family and of Niles' uncle.
The rest of
We
you,
don't
such an interesting little bunch you've got gathered here. Is this what you, what did you call them? The Storm Guild? The Tempest Guild. This is the group you were fanboying over, Niles. I must say, not the most impressive.
They are more capable than you realize, Nix.
But not more capable than us. You must know this is a losing battle. Niles, you were never able to beat me. Come now. Let us have our little chat. Your friends can go stand at the other side of the wall. I promise. I mean you no harm. I will return you back to your friends in this little cell, if you choose not to accompany me back to the Silverwind Manor. How about that for a deal?
I'm going to drop Zone of Truth, concentration on it, and
Probably a good idea.
me and Niles sort of being beside each other, I'm going to like slightly stand on his toes. Niles, you can't do this. We had a plan. We were going to head back.
I do want to head back. I don't want to head back to the Silverwind Manor yet, but I feel like I need to hear Nix out. I need to understand what's happening.
Are you certain? What if she betrays you just like those members of the Society of Brilliance?
The Society of Brilliance? What do you mean?
You know,
Oh, you mean...
they betrayed us. You should not go with her.
I swear upon my position in the Silver Winds, upon my name, upon the feathers with which I fly, I will return you to this room, unharmed, unscathed, unscratched, if you refuse my offer, Niles Silverwind. I can do no more than that. That oath is binding.
So you'll allow me to have this conversation and return me here to my friends?
If that is what you choose at the end of the conversation, of course, Niles. Because those are your options. Either you agree to come with me, once you've heard me out, and I very much hope you do, or I bring you back here, and you can rot in this Dwergar prison.
You hear behind her Obsidian Foot going like,
That's not the arrangement. We're going to use him in the camp. No, Niles is different. He stays here, unharmed, unspoilt. Understood?
grumbling agreement comes from behind the glass.
I look up at Art and I just say, I have to hear what she has to say, but I'm not going with her.
I'll
Say that
take
now.
my foot off hers.
Okay then, next, let's see what you have to say.
Rest of you, up against the wall. I saw what you did to that poor dwarf, rushing in, I must say, Niles, I was rather impressed. I didn't think you had it in you anymore. Isn't that the path you chose to turn away from? And yet here you are. You crushed his chest in and pierced his heart with his own ribs in less than what? A few seconds? Come now. Are you really telling me you're not built for this life?
That's what scares me, Nix. That this is the product of our training. That we are so lethal. It is not the way.
If this is what you want, and I'll come over and hug Niles, and I'm hoping getting so close, it won't be seen that I will put the messenger stone in
good.
his cloths.
Very cool.
Nice. Do you want to make me a sleight of hand check, Bart, with advantage?
Yes, please.
Because you've got Harry and Dewey kind of standing a little bit in front too, and as you move up, you've got an opportunity to kind of drop this concept.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Perfect.
You just slip the stone in, not even into a pouch. You slip it up against in the band that Niles wears around his waist, so that it's touching skin, so that at any point he can activate it without even having to try and reach for it. It's already touching his feathers as you get it into a perfect position. Brilliant. Alrighty.
And I'll step back and head to the back of the room.
Perfect. Is everyone heading to the back of the room? Is anyone calling out? Is anyone asking any questions? Take me through the...
Yeah. If she can, Lyra might call out to Niles, like, knowing full well that they can probably hear of it. Hey, Niles, or Bard, I guess. Nix or Obsidian Foot, they don't have any forms of compulsion, do they?
What do you mean, compulsion?
Well, she said that if you don't agree to go with her back to, where she wants you to go, then, she'll return you unharmed. But she doesn't have a way to, make you agree to willingly go with her, right?
Oh, I don't know. The smell of Obsidian Foot's foot is... that could make people do anything.
That's a weird comment. Because it kind of implies it smells so good. Make them do anything.
Not that I'm aware of. Nix has always been a martial artist. She hasn't dabbled in anything like that, I don't think. Anything occult or magic in any way. Are you talking like some sort of pact? Like
some kind of magic, spell, scroll, torture. I guess she said she wouldn't harm you, but...
It's not really her style. She prefers to settle things with her fists, much like myself. But then again, it has been a while. Maybe Nick learned some new tricks.
You can hear us, so why don't we just ask her?
But Niles, if she had maybe said that she knew where your uncle was, and you going with her would, guarantee his safety or something along those lines.
Well, that is a good point. I've been away from home for a little while. I take the risk.
I doubt she's going to know anything when she's trying to usurp her people just as much.
Just saying, be prepared for whatever eventuality.
Thank you. I will keep that in mind.
Is it a good idea or not?
There's no bad ideas, only chaos.
I'm wanting to the idea of divide and conquer at the moment. I want Niles to get some alone time with her while he's on the outside. Maybe we use the rocks to formulate some sort of a plan. I'd like to split them up further. That's my sort of train of thought. Yeah. Tell me, Nix. Hello?
You haven't asked a question yet.
Do you also have a pact with the devil?
I have a pact with Obsidian Foot, if that's what you're referring to. I wouldn't call him a devil, though.
Quite the devil, isn't he? No, that's what I meant. Right, Obsidian Foot?
You shut your fucking beak, bird. You shut it right now. This bird will say he'll do anything to get out after what we did to him. He can't trust him, Nix.
I glance over at Bart. Ah, that really got under his skin, didn't it?
I wonder if it'll get under the skin of his soldiers.
Yes, when we tell the soldiers, exactly what Obsidian Foot has planned for them.
I'm sure the devil wouldn't be pleased of being denied like that.
Yeah, interesting fellow.
Pleased is a...
Mephistopheles. Yeah, that's right. That's what he was.
He's a cruel devil prince, I've heard in the books.
Yeah, I've heard of Vernus is quite nice this time of year.
There's the sound of a click, and then silence emanates from beyond the glass. A moment later, you hear the sound of something thumping up against the wall, against the glass, and then silence again. A moment later, there's another click, and you hear Nix's voice. To the back of the room, please. Niles, I'll be in momentarily to collect you.
Excellent.
Was that your first sacrifice?
Nice.
Obsidian?
There is no answer from Obsidian Foot.
Okay.
I wonder if she's taken over the pact.
As the audio is clicked off, you hear momentary silence and then a knocking at the door. One of the guards, the stone guards. Right, you lot, back of the room. Owl, front and center. You're being transferred.
Excellent.
I'll take a step forward as well, just to try my luck.
I said, back of the room, or we'll let you starve.
Forward.
I said, Owl. Niles.
Yeah, which one?
You hear there's a moment of silence, and then Niles, step forward.
Very good.
I'll step back.
Very good.
Dewey sort of looks around and goes, sorry, stepping back. I wasn't sure what was going on. Give me a moment. Sort of rushes to the back of the room, wanting to avoid getting into trouble. He comes and sort of like goes to stand next to you. Lyra sees the zombie and goes, ugh. Goes and stands next to Ember instead. Hello. I don't believe we've had much to say to each other. As he gets up close to Ember. Ember, where have you put your token? Have you deleted yourself?
He's under bar.
No, I'm under barred and I can't move my token, unfortunately.
There you go. There you go, buddy.
Thank you.
Ember, as you move out, Dewey comes up and says, hello. Hi.
Hi there. Hey, you're a bit of an interesting character, aren't you?
I like your little fellow. What's his name?
Oh, this guy here. This is Flicker.
Hello, Flicker. Do you want to... He reaches and pulls out a little bit of bread and holds it up for Flicker.
I mean, he would take it, 100%.
As Flicker demolishes it, there's a sense of contentment coming across the link, and Dewey kind of smiles and then looks at his fingers. It's warm from the flames of Flicker's flames. As all of you kind of like move to the back of the room, the doors suddenly burst open, startling Dewey, who drops the piece of bread he was getting out to give Flicker for the second time. And two of the stone guards with the masks, those masked stone guards, stride into the room, lances pointing down at each of you. As they look around the room, one of them turns towards you, Niles, this masked face, and then nods towards the door.
Oh, okay. As we turn back and looks like I'll be off. I'll be back shortly, don't worry.
We'll await here.
Very good.
As you begin to move away, Niles, you step out into the corridor beyond. A moment later, emerging from the study down towards the south, two double doors pushed aside, you watch as Nyx begins stalking towards you. Grey and black speckled feathers, lustrous and gleaming. Shadowed armor, leather, wrapped around her shoulders and partially onto the borders of her wings. A hood that she pulls down, revealing her almost slightly hawkish owl kind of appearance. You watch as she smiles, her eyes wide as she looks at you. And as you glimpse just behind her, you see in the open room, lying on the ground, slowly pulling himself upright, blood trickling out of the corner of his mouth, his Obsidian Foot. As he slowly pulls himself into a standing position, Niles, you watch as he shoots daggers at her, his eyes full of rage and hatred. But he doesn't act. Not now. This is the cold fury of a man who's going to get his revenge at any costs. Nyx seems oblivious to this, though. She stalks towards you, lays a hand on your shoulder, looks you in the eyes, cocks her head a little bit and goes, Niles. Been an age since last we met. No
Likewise,
hug
it
for
has
your
been.
cousin? She holds out her arms.
Not for those who have not seen in such time, but
Can we hear this?
Oh yeah, you can hear this through the door.
Ha! Sucks to be you. I got a hug.
She doesn't
We-
respond.
especially since we, with how we left things off. I have a lot to say, though. Why are you here, of all places?
She glances back at the room, seeing Bart having yelled out, "Ha! I got a hug!"
Perhaps we should walk and talk.
She slowly nods, places a clawed hand on your back, and pushes you quite forcefully, the claws digging into your spine as she
Sure.
uses the talons to sort of just cut into the flesh on your back, right around your spine. Niles, you know,
I wince.
if she was to grab on, she could tear through flesh, those talons piercing into your lower spine at any moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I followed through.
Something you've seen her do.
Yep.
As she begins pushing against you, watch as the two master wolves begin to move out of the room, going to close the door before you hear a pained voice. All of you hear a pained voice call out,
No, wait. I want that one. I want the fucking bird who talks smack to me. Bring him into the interrogation chamber. It's been a while since Dream and I caught up.
Oh, yes. I do hope you don't take any more of him, or there will be consequences.
I'll do whatever the fuck I want.
It's at this moment Nyx pauses and turns, her head spinning around to look back at Obsidian Foot. No, you won't. Question him all you want, but if there are pieces missing, more than what there already are, I'll be taking those same pieces from you. You've already lost one foot, Melgrim. What would we call you once I've replaced your arms? The other leg with obsidian. We'll run out of you if we're not careful. Do as you're instructed. No more. With that, the pressure increases on your spine as she pushes forwards. We're going to briefly split the party. We're going to stick with Niles for the time being and then come back to the rest of the party and Bart for the second half. Niles, as you are led out of the room and down a long, narrow stone corridor, Nyx doesn't talk very much, but you hear her occasionally humming softly under her breath. A tune rises and falls that you can't quite put your finger on initially. Before she stops in front of a set of doors, looks towards them, nods and goes, "This will do. Open them." As she looks towards you, Niles, she's not getting in front of you. That's where your fists are.
I would do a better job opening these if you were to just release the tension on my spine, just a teeny bit.
You would certainly do a better job attempting to incapacitate me, and as fun as it would be to prove that I still am far more skilled than you are, Niles, I don't think we need to resort to that. I did promise that I would return you unharmed. That exception, the exception to that is if you, of course, attack me, and I would be forced to retaliate. Don't make me break that promise.
Oh, no, I would never dream of it, Nyx. We still have so much to catch up on.
We do. Open the doors, please, Niles.
Of course. I go to open the doors.
As you open the doors, you can see this room beyond is some kind of storeroom. Clearly hasn't been used in some time, but as you step into the room, you can see that a candle has been lit in the far corner, glowing with a soft blue light. In the far end, there is an old prisoner's cot with a skeleton still in place, lying on the surface. This one tall and very humanoid looking. And as you're pushed into the room, Nyx turns and closes the doors behind her. And then as she turns towards you, you watch as she places her hands together, claws clacking on each hand. And you notice that on her left hand, silvery golden metal, this verdigris color, a gauntlet of sorts, coating over her upper hand, forming this almost like a metal glove with long claws shaping over the talons with a serrated edge on her left hand.
Ooh.
Lyra, you look like you're liking the sound of that, Ali.
You're
You're
muted.
muted, Ali.
It sounds really familiar, and I can't place it. Like I've seen something very similar somewhere.
She's a figment wannabe.
No, is this a does not recognize this?
Niles, do you want to make me a history check?
Sure do. Because this could be relevant.
Back with Dewey, Ember on your shoulder, you can see Flicker, and having only had a little crumb, Flicker's like lying back, his belly full, or her belly full. Have we said what Flicker's gender is? I think you've said he before.
I've said he, but I don't. It's really genderless, to be dead honest.
Doesn't matter. Flicker's belly is really full. You can see Flicker kind of like lying back on your shoulder, lets out a little contented sigh. Seems like this bread that Dewey has provided is very filling. Niles, 19 on the history check.
It's a critical.
Natural 20, yeah, natural 20. You do recognize this design. The metal coated claw covering. This is a martial weapon that is generally outlawed within the Owlin and Aarakocran societies. It is a very, very old design from before the escape from the plane of air, before the arrival in Nostea. The reason that's been shared around for its discontinued use is its brutal nature. It heightens. The serrated edges tear through flesh and cause deep lacerations that bleed continuously. They make an Owlin or an Aarakocra fighter far more deadly. But with a natural 20, Niles, you know the main reason that they've been told to not use them, or why they've been discontinued, is because it doesn't paint the picture that the Owlin and Aarakocra need to be able to have such a high position in Nostean society. They can't come across as warriors. They need to come across as messengers, as helpful, as accommodating. And this claw design does not fit in with that. It was very quickly abandoned, and there's to be no discussion of it outside the history books. But she has fashioned one for herself, clearly out of the enriched alloy, the giant metal.
Am I right in thinking, now this is sort of out of game, this is essentially a tiger's claw, right?
Yeah.
Like the weapon?
Exactly. Yeah. It's like a customized Aarakocran Owlin version of the tiger's claw.
Excellent. Very cool.
Fits over the claws on the hands and feet. You can have 4 technically, and they create these long serrated like blades that are almost like hollowed out, so that as they grab in and grip flesh, they tear chunks out of it. They are horrific because Aarakocran claws, like eagle claws and owl claws, in nature are designed to pierce and grip. This takes advantage of that natural design and turns them into deep lacerating weapons, horrific weapons.
Real weapon that exists, guys. Just FYI.
Yeah. I always like to sprinkle in real cool stuff wherever I can.
Love that. Love it. Love it.
Watch, as she holds aloft, you watch as the light from the candle glints off this claw. She catches your gaze as you turn and study it intently. She follows your gaze, and as you look back up and she makes eye contact, you watch as she smiles ever so slightly. Oh, you like the new claw?
I thought you had enough of those already.
Yes,
I think.
But this one comes with a special touch. There's a war coming, Niles. Coming for some time. You don't know the full story, but you need to know which side you're fighting on. And I'm worried your sentimentality, empathy, is setting you up for a lot of hurt.
Care to elaborate then?
The Eris theocracy, family that's been ruling it, current Zishi, they've been in power far too long. And their goals, their designs, are not for the benefit of our people. So it's time we take matters into our own hands. The silver winds have been slighted long enough. We have been disrespected for long enough. Titus and I have a plan.
Oh, so your father's in on this?
Of course he is, Niles. Nothing happens in the Silverwinds without Titus's approval. Come now, are you really so naive?
I thought that Titus would be interested in keeping things in-house. I thought that perhaps you would be making the calls. So
I am
that
making
intrigues
the
me.
calls, Niles.
Ah.
This is Titus's plan, but I'm the one taking the reins. I see the opportunities that he does not.
Okay. So you want to take control of the theocracy, is that what I'm hearing?
Yes. And the unfortunate and untimely disappearance of Bartholomew has provided us with an opportunity unlike any other. And it really took no work at all to organize that. They're tearing themselves apart from the inside. It's time for us to strike.
You did orchestrate that then?
As much as I would like to claim credit, I can't. I was being truthful with what I said to your friend. No. That betrayal came from within the theocracy. I merely took advantage of an open door. Jealousy
Intriguing.
does awful things to families, tears them apart.
You think that a violent coup is the way? And what would the theocracy be like under the Silverwinds then? With such two upstanding citizens such as yourself and your father at the reins? What would it look like?
Titus's plan is to avoid bloodshed. He wants to take control fully, in a moment, unseat the current family and supplant them with the Silverwinds. Seal the deal with mercantile contracts, control of the Messenger Guild, and there's really no other course of action required. It's a done deal. I, however, see a different path. Titus doesn't want things to change, not too much. He wants to be in charge, wants to have the power, but he doesn't want to change anything. I know the truth. I know why we're here. And it is long past time we enacted our destiny, our true mission here.
So I see that time has not changed your mind on things. You do not see another path forward, that one that is so steeped in bloodshed then.
Niles, we are rulers. Owlin over the Aarakocra. The difference in our lifespan is enough evidence for you. We hold the knowledge, the memories, the history, and the teachings. Why should we stop at the Aarakocra? This world, it's in chaos. Surely the events of the last few years have demonstrated that. Dark draconic god Tiamat almost broke through not 6 months ago. And what? A group of mercenaries just managed to contain it. And now they've unleashed the giants upon this land. What more bloodshed will follow? No, Niles, what I'm proposing isn't chaos or war. I'm proposing peace. Proper peace. Stability. Look how well the Ares theocracy has functioned under the Owlin's control. Imagine what we could do if we were ruling all.
I see now. It seems your drive for power has pushed you into something I did not think I would see.
You know, it was Otto who finally convinced me. All his talk of peace, of understanding, of sympathy. I finally got it. He doesn't see the full picture. Like you, really. Blinded by his limited imagination.
Tell me, Otto still lives. Am I right?
He does. For now. Otto's still useful, Niles. Can't very well have him vanishing. Or turning up
Indeed.
dead. Chaos in the Silverwinds does serve none of our plans. Chaos in the Ares theocracy, however, that does. No, Otto is fine. I still need him.
Hmm.
We need unity in the Silverwinds, which is why I'm offering you this chance. You impressed me in the cells, unleashing such a brutal sequence of blows upon that Dwergar. He was chained and manacled as well, couldn't even fight back.
Hold hand.
That was impressive.
A momentary lapse.
No.
Let my emotions get the better.
No. Come now, you can lie to yourself, but you can't lie to me, Niles. It was a momentary lapse. That's who you truly are. The weapon you were forged to be. Why have you been trying to pretend otherwise? Denying your true nature, please. It's sad. I was willing to let it play out, because for a while it was quite funny. The joke's over, Niles. Come. Take your place. You know you were born for this. You were trained for this. And with you at my side, Silverwinds would truly be united. Can you imagine? Your Tempest Guild could be useful. They seem to have some sway over much of Oceania. Imagine if you could help guide them. We don't need to unleash bloodshed. Not if you were there to help me. My methods, well, I can't promise not to take a bit of pleasure. But if you were there, helping, advise, maybe take a more diplomatic solution when acquired.
But Bartholomew, what about him? What are your plans for him?
I need him to stay gone, for now. But we need chaos in the Eris theocracy, cousin. What is going to be more damaging, more divisive than the second son of the Zishi returning, having had his wings torn off, and having been sent there by... Well, we don't need to get into that now. Not sure you're on my side just yet. See, you're already helping my plans. I heard you promising to help your friend get to the surface. I want that to happen, just not yet. It's too soon. I don't have all the pieces in position. I have a question for you. Your friend, Bartholomew, Prince, mentioned something about a deal with the devil? Melgrim. You know him as Obsidian Foot. He refused to answer my questions, but I know you won't.
Well, what do you want to know?
Why did Bartholomew mention a deal with the devil? He wasn't talking about me, was he?
I look around the room. Are you sure this place does not have prying ears or eyes that can easily hear this conversation?
Niles, if it does, I'll tear those ears off and pluck those eyes out. Seriously.
Oh, no doubt you will.
No one here serves any threat to me.
Well, it helps to know who you're up against. We didn't just come here idly trying to start a fight with Duriga. You can see our position here. But rightfully so has beef with Obsidian Foot, so we did a little bit of looking into him to see what he was all about. It looks like he is in a bit of a hard place, so to speak. Making friends with devils by the sounds of it.
Elaborate, please.
Well, that depends.
On what?
If you... Well... That is something I need to think about. My friends are still in that holding cell. I would very much like to see them out of it, at least.
Niles, if you have something that potentially, knowledge that potentially threatens the Silverwind family, it serves no one but the Dwergar to keep it to yourself. You might not be considering me as a friend, but I only want what's best for the Owlin. Come now. What's this about a deal with the devil?
If I tell you this information, do you think you would take over operations here?
No.
Do you think you would dispose of Obsidian Foot, or does he serve a purpose here?
I can't take over operations here. Obsidian Foot has control of the stone giants. That's the only reason this is all happening. As soon as they realize he's plundering their city for fragments of their metal, operation's over. No, I'm not going to be taking Obsidian Foot out of the equation. Not until I know that I can replicate what he's done.
Okay. But have you stopped to think about how Obsidian Foot has had such sway over the stone giants?
Niles, I'm not an idiot. Of course we have. It's the hammer and the gemstone.
Yes.
But how he's doing it, what that magic involves, we'd be taking a real risk taking him out of the equation. Plus, it's good having a third party that we can throw blame on if he was to, say, cut the wings off a prince.
Yes, well, that doesn't look good at all.
It does
no matter
not.
which way you look at it.
Absolutely not. And imagine my shock and surprise when I realized this.
Well, I'm willing to tell you. I have some skin in this game after all. And I sort of show the crystal in my hand. There have been some developments.
She grabs your hand, pulls it closer, and has a look. This is the same crystal embedded into Obsidian Foot's hammer. How did you come by this?
Bit of an accident, actually. Some giant tech.
Interesting. So what, you're telling me you can control the stone giants as well? Well, this is perfect, Niles. We don't need the...
You misunderstand. It's not quite that simple. We're not quite sure exactly what the crystal entails. It's some sort of giant tech, which, beyond my understanding, I could not tell you exactly what it does. That is something that we would need to take up with those who might be a bit more well-versed in it. It is not really as simple as that.
Of course it's not. With this, you're dodging the question. Devil, Obsidian Foot, where's the connection? Oh, that's how he's controlling the giants. He made a deal with the devil. The crystals aren't all the same. He's had a devil work the magic for him. You said it was complicated. It's not easy to manage. Right. So if I'm guessing this correctly, you watch as she returns for a moment, teasing this out. He stumbled across one of these. Why is yours implanted in your flesh? It's different to his. His is in a weapon, in a hammer.
I couldn't tell you.
Right. Something to do with the giant technology then. Irrelevant. Yours is different to his. But he can't work his easily. You can't work yours. Otherwise, you'd be doing something to influence me with this right now. I've just given you the perfect opportunity, taken you alone into a room. No, which means you can't control this fully either. So he's got a devil to do it.
Sharp as always, Nix. Well, it seems that way.
What was the price? Do you know what he's offering? You mentioned something about his soldiers, or Bartholomew did. Souls, in exchange for the Blood War?
It is a tedious position. But my point is, look, you've already been able to unravel most of this. We are here as well to try and liberate the slaves. Now, I would like to see the Senilin and others freed by the end of all of this.
Niles, we still need another 50 units of armor before I can make any changes down here. At the moment, we just don't have enough. If things were to turn bloody, which if you were with me is less likely, I could consider opening up, cancelling out on this deal, taking what metal we have. Hang on a minute. Do you know how to forge this metal, the enriched alloy? You've got it implanted in your hand. Do you understand how it works, what you need to melt it, how to work it? Do you know who does?
Perhaps this information might be acquired to me through this gemstone.
She's going to make an insight check. Do you make me a deception check? Oh no, you actually do. You actually know kind of what it takes to melt this. Could you?
Yeah.
This isn't a deception check then. I guess this is more of a persuasion check.
Yep.
Well played, Niles. Well played. Very well played. 14.
Yep.
You watch as she nods slowly and goes, right. You've given me a lot to think about, Niles Silverwind. Are you ready to agree to come back to the surface?
Did I ever tell you why I left all those years ago, Nix?
I don't believe you did, in so many words.
I think there was a realization when my talent, my skill simmered to the surface on that training day, that one fateful morning.
You
when
were
young Frederick
beautiful.
stood before me.
You were beautiful that day, Niles.
Yeah.
I respected you. Looked up to you even that day.
Steady. That was just another day. And then it wasn't, was it? When young Frederick, my friend, my ally in the Silverwinds, lay dead before me because I could not control myself. There was a realization there, Nix. It wasn't just the fact that he lay there lifeless. It was the fact that I had got to that point. I could not, in good conscience, continue that path, Nix. That is the difference between you and me. I can see where you are going, what path you have taken. I can see the darkness and the blood and the pain and the suffering that a tyrant such as yourself would inflict on the people of this day. I cannot, in good conscience, let this happen. You've got to understand, there is always another path. That is what Silas taught me, and that is what I found in my own travels. That is why the Tempest Guild spoke to me, the stories of their heroism. The way they were able to talk their way out of situations without even having to raise a fist. That is true power. That is true strength as a warrior. And you don't understand that. And that, I think, Nix, is why I don't think I can come back with you. No, my friends need me. Bart needs me.
Niles, that is a shame to hear you say that. You passed that test. It was your last. Everything that was promised, you had earned in that moment, and you turned and walked away because of this. This was the reason. Niles,
If you
I feel ashamed I ever looked up to you.
You don't understand, Nix. Maybe in a world where you didn't have to wield a claw on your hand and build a set of armor for your people, for our people, perhaps in a world where you did not have to do these things and you could take a position of power and actually rule properly in a peaceful way without having to enslave and indoctrinate the people of Nestea against their will, then perhaps then I would follow you. And perhaps there might have been a time, maybe before all of this, where I might have. But I don't believe in that anymore. There are other ways forward. I have seen it.
As you say
It's
that,
something you will never understand.
as you say that, Niles, you watch as Nyx spins around, having turned away from you as you started this speech. And then as she turns, you watch as the claw shoots out and grabs you around the neck as she slowly pushes you back up against the wall. You see rage and fury in her eyes. We are supposed to be rulers, Niles. It was our family. It was our family who led our people in the plane of air. It was stolen from us, Niles. When we came through, it was taken. We are supposed to be the ones leading the Heiress, not these pretenders, these traitors who took the throne, corrupted it, covetous.
What about the boy? Bart could rule.
But a maimed, sad creature. No. He's broken, Niles, can't you see? Torn between his grief over his lost wings and that pathetic puppy dog love he has for his dancer. No.
It is more than that. I have seen the strength in him. It is much more than you or I could ever attempt or ever realize. There is true strength in him. Strength beyond our martial prowess.
And when I break this prince, cross my fist and scatter his broken body to the ground, will you finally bow to me? Is that what it would take? Do I need to show you true strength to prove this? Because I will.
We shall see. But for now, I believe in his path.
She releases the claws and drops you to the ground.
I hoped you would see differently. Come on. Let's get you back to your cell. I'm gonna have to be careful when I let you lot wander back up to the surface. We still need Bart there a few weeks, maybe a month or two. Yeah, we'll let you go too. What damage can you do?
Yes, what damage can I do?
Back with the rest of the group. Harry, Ember, Bart, and Lyra. That was intense. It's a shame the rest of the party weren't there, because there was some really interesting backstory about Niles that the rest of the party don't know now. Just no idea.
Yep.
Unless Niles turned on the messenger stone just for that bit. Back with the rest of the party. As the two stone guards with the masks turn, you watch as Obsidian Foot pushes his way through the door. You can see a large bruise starting to form on his cheek, blood from a cracked section of skin slowly leaking down, and you watch as he storms into the room, followed by another Dwergar, a very scrawny looking male Dwergar, who reaches up and tries to cast some magic on Obsidian Foot, looking at the cut and the bruise, and you watch as Obsidian Foot grabs his hand with the wrist, breaks it quietly, before throwing the scrawny Dwergar outside the door and slamming it behind him with the two guards next to him. As he looks over each of you, you watch as he pauses, as he makes eyes with Dewey and goes,
The fuck are you?
He was always here.
You watch as Dewey waves and goes,
Hello.
you watch as Obsidian Foot reaches down, pulls out a large dagger from his waist, holds it up, looks over and goes,
I'm gonna cut your fucking ears off, elf.
Did it take your memories too?
Did what take my memories?
Is that why you can't remember who this man in the cell with us is? Soul's End thoughts?
How much do you know? Too much. You always knew too fucking much and talk too fucking much. Dream. It's gonna get you into trouble. Oh wait. Already has. What? Not gonna fly away? Not gonna rush out of here? Run back to your dad and your brother? You know what? You talk and talk. Think you know things. I've been told not to tell you this. Told that it'd cause problems. But that bitch, she's gone too far. You want to know why you're here? Dream.
Like you'd even know.
Oh, I know. You were hand-delivered. A message came letting us know exactly where you'd be, trussed up like a wee little turkey. And waiting for us there was your brother. Gosh, that's got to burn, don't it? Your older brother. Turning you over to us. And I told him what I was going to do to you. I said if you caused any trouble, I'd cut your wings off. Do you know what he said? He didn't say anything. He laughed. That's when I knew we could do business. A man that ruthless, I knew that I could work with him. See, that's why.
Insight check? Yeah,
on him.
absolutely go for it.
I rolled it already. Not an amazing roll, 10.
10. But Obsidian Foot he's in pain. physical and emotional pain. This is a man who clings onto power by a thread in this situation. I mean, you know the Dwergar can be vicious. His half-Darrow nature works against him in this environment a little bit. He knows that if he doesn't portray strength and authority, there will be another hungrier Dwergar to take his place. And he's just been shamed in front of his men, in front of his stone guard, by Nyx. He is desperately trying to regain control by being as cruel as he possibly can be. You don't get the sense he's lying. It's hard to say, but the main driving goal here, he wants to hurt you. You and everyone else. You drew attention to yourself. He was perfectly content taking it out on Dewey and Lyra at first. You then drew attention to yourself. It's almost like the others have disappeared for him, but he just sees you, and his hatred for Nyx and his hatred for everything else is now focused on you.
Was all that talk for nothing? We're not going to head over? And I'll sort of nod to the door to the north of the room.
You must be broken. Do you miss my careful ministrations with a knife and a hammer?
No, I just find it funny that you can't take me over there because you're being controlled by said bitch.
You watch as he slowly turns.
Do you know what? You're right. Close the door.
You watch as the two stone guards turn to each other, and as they go to close the door, he goes,
No. You lot. Outside. I've got to do some discipline.
You watch as the two stone guards look at each other. One of them reaches out.
Sir, is that what? Shut your fucking gob.
And as he reaches behind and pulls out his hammer and slams it down, he looks over at the four of you, the five of you, and then looks back at his stone guards and goes,
You open this door before I'm finished. You're going to be joining him.
With that, you watch as the two stone guards leave the room and close the door. Obsidian Foot turns around, hefting his hammer as he looks towards the five of you, smiling.
Well, look at this. Your plan's all coming together. You wanted me alone so that you could take me out, right? That was the plan. I was overhearing it when I was inside the room next door. Get me alone, take me out, and that's it. The whole operation falls apart. Here's the problem, though.
And he slams the hammer down on the ground. Harry, Ember, Bart, Lyra, and Dewey, I'm going to need... it's going to be wisdom saving throws from all of you, please.
+4 on, obviously, everyone, because we were all huddled in that circle.
14 for Ember, very nice. 23 for Lyra, 14 for Harry. So plus 4, so that's 18 for Ember and Harry. That's 27 for Lyra. I better roll for Dewey.
Mine already has it included. Oh, not the best. 12.
Yikes. Dewey is also not great. That's an 8. Plus the...
I also don't consider him my ally.
Then it's it's an 8. I was going to bump it up to a 12, but if you do not consider Dewey your ally in that case, then it stays where it is.
That's funny.
That's
Wow.
very funny. A wave of fear passes over all of you. And as you feel this presence move, you watch as Obsidian Foot begins to shift and change, not taking on the form of Elder Hunmar, but instead you watch as the shadows around him begin to darken. His eyes begin to glow with this red light, and you watch as spikes shoot out from his body, piercing his flesh, black Icarus blood pouring from the wounds. Lyra, you are not affected by this fear. As the fear washes over you, you find yourself pushing back against it, able to resist. Ember and Harry, both of you also just make the DC for this as it passes. Bart and Dewey, however, as both of you fail, You watch as the shadows streak out, moving across the floor like oil as they move, writhing, emerging from the ground in these almost like grasping hands. And as they strike at you, Bart and Dewey are both going to take 13 points of psychic damage.
Whoa, shit.
You watch as Dewey grabs his head and screams, dropping to the ground in the fetal position.
Oh, not Dewey!
Dewey, no!
I don't know if we're going into full-blown initiative for
Oh
this,
yeah,
but I did
that was my next thing.
that I want. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. This is definitely an initiative moment. Although, given where we're at, I might actually wrap us up there just because I think it would be good to come back in at the beginning of that initiative round rather than at the end. Is there anything you wanted to quickly do before initiative kicks off, Bart?
I had one spell and response hoping to improve my rolls and a chance of actually hoping to cause more chaos, maybe not fight him right now. It's a good chance of us taking things on, but I don't know. There's an opportunity that I've seen now is there's a hatred between him and Nyx and creating chaos in whatever the name of this new Duragar city is. I'm going to use a spell slot. My action will be imbuing myself with memories of Satine, thoughts of her, and a small silhouette of her that will sort of hug me from behind. And I'm going to cast Heroism on myself.
Oh, that's so sick.
Which is going to give myself 4 temporary hit points, and will make me immune to the frightened condition.
So you sort of trying to cast that as a reaction, because it probably would be more of an action once we kick off into initiative.
I was more so wanting to do it, as if possible a reaction, because I was wanting to try to speak to him. There was a thought of a tactic that had formulated into Bartholomew's mind.
I'm going to allow it, given that you knew something was probably going to go down. He told the guards to leave and said, "I'm going to fuck you over." Yeah, for sure.
Because I definitely would have wanted it as like some sort of a held action. As she sort of hugs me from behind, I'll make eye contact with him. Look, to be honest, you're a ripe asshole. I wish I could kill you, but I've been slowly convinced by others, friends that I have made, that maybe I'm better than that, better than you. And right now, you could use as much help as you can get. The Lothsworn are preparing to attack you. Did it not irk you while the Krogoths were probing your defenses? They're about to betray you. The Deep Gnomes survived in many higher numbers in hidden shelters, and the Myconid war tribes, you should know that we've been contacting them. There are many, many forces that are about to turn on you. Nyx has already just shown one of such things. You're facing enemies on all fronts. You should be paranoid for a reason, and for the cherry on top, you're about to lose your power over the giants. I know how to fix that.
Make me a persuasion check. Not with disadvantage, not with advantage, flat persuasion check. You would have been making any of those persuasion checks with disadvantage, but that was very well done, Christian.
That'd be incredible.
16. As the wave of fear pushes out from the hammer, you watch as the magic flows and then ebbs for a moment, as Obsidian Foot's knuckles whiten around the grip, around the haft of the axe. And as he turns his eyes towards you, you see some fear in there as well. Frashka! As he swears in Dwarvish.
How do you always know too fucking much?
You don't have much time. Your guards aren't here. I was purposely trying to antagonize you so that you didn't need to belittle yourself in front of them. You don't have to worry about losing any honor, but I made a promise. I know how you can get proper control over the giants. But it's going to cost you a lot.
Of course it fucking is. What's my choice then? Your promises or the devil's?
Well, the devil has attempted to intermingle with your stone. But as you've seen from all of us, we're savants when it comes to the topic of Hadar. And I'll show up my hand and sort of look towards everyone else's hands.
Don't know fuck all about Hadar.
Oh, of course you don't. You don't know about the times of past, the treaty of the giants. You don't know any of that?
Why would I fucking care? Speak quickly, bird. Your twittering is keeping you alive right now.
I know it is. I know it is. For any of this to come to fruition, I'm going to have to meet that devil of yours. I'm going to have to break the contract that he's formed if anything's going to start, and if you're going to connect to the archivist inside your stone.
Prove.
We're going to need to break
Prove
that
what you're
contract.
saying. Show me that you can get these stones to work. Right now.
He doesn't know shit. So I'm just going to turn to Harry. Harry, you've already activated your stone, right? Can you make yours glow?
You're muted.
Yep. Harry. Yep. Harry will.
Do any
do
of
a
our
white-
hands or your hammer look like this? And I'll sort of insinuate to his large, technified.
Yeah, the almost like a gauntlet on Harry's hand where it's been slowly turned.
Don't care about fucking
Taste my
lights.
arm.
Show me that you can make them work.
What did you want me to do, Bart? Make it glow?
Maybe shoot an Eldritch Blast at that window. Fire off some magic from that has been granted to you from the giants.
Don't care about magic. Show me you can control with it. Prove you've got some sort of power over these stones. Well, there's no fucking deal.
How am I meant to do that right now?
You're the ones who claimed you had that ability.
Should I show him the map?
Harry, could you ask Figment to try to interact with...
What the fuck's Figment?
Too many questions. You really know fucking nothing. Can you try to get Figment to interact with the mole?
Yeah, it's a great idea. Yeah, definitely. I'll connect to him now.
Do you
Harry
mind-
closes his eyes.
Do you mind if his hand touches your weapon?
You're not touching fucking anything. You stand back there and you stay where you are. Prove you can control these things right now.
It's going to be harder, but fine.
Harry reaches out to Figment.
Can you make me a spellcasting check, Harry, as you reach out to your patron? This could be very, very interesting.
Super spicy.
I can feel the natural one coming.
Oh, sorry.
No, I can't.
My spellcasting thing is
Just do it as an
Charisma
Eldritch Blast.
+4.
Yeah, just do it like an Eldritch
I'll
Blast.
just roll a...
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Just roll a great
easiest way to do it.
Eldritch Blast. That's
Just do
definitely
it.
not going to be a 1.
18.
18!
Okay. We take those.
Yeah, we're cooking.
What do you say, Harry? What's the emotion you put through to Figment? What do you, when you reach out with your mind to your patron? What do you say as you feel the connection suddenly form?
I think it's a bit of desperation at this point, because Harry's been looking this whole time for a way to help, but like thing after thing, licking the window didn't help. Like he doesn't know what to do now. So
those are the two
yeah, he's
options.
like-
I tried licking the window. Now it's time to go to my Warlock patron. We're out of options, guys. Divine intervention. That's how we get out of here.
I found the window.
I like how Harry's just like, divine intervention. Let's fucking go. It's the only way out of here. Yeah, Harry, what have you got for us?
Figment, you there?
Of course, Harry. I am always here for you.
Oh, but sometimes you don't answer.
Don't I?
This
I
is
always
mine, by the
answer
way.
when I hear you call.
So sometimes you don't hear me.
Sometimes you don't speak loudly enough.
Yeah, touche. You see that mole over there? The one with another Hearthstone in it?
There's sorry.
Oh, there we go. Sorry. I was trying to like turn it off so I could talk and it wasn't turning off and I was like, no, as Figment's you feel the sensation as Figment sort of looks through your eyes for a moment, Harry, this like almost like a discomfort, this tingling.
And then, yes, Harry, I believe I see what you are speaking of. That Hearthstone has been corrupted. It is broken.
Okay, so connecting to it would be a beard thing? Or can we clean it?
Potentially, I can try and connect to it. But it looks different.
Can we do that over non-touching?
Of course, Harry. I will try and form a remote connection. I should warn you, though. This Hearthstone looks different. It has been set into metal. This is unusual. And it does not look like it was done by the dwarf. This looks like it was intentional. I know not who made this weapon, but there may be consequences trying to connect to it. Do you still wish me to proceed?
No, maybe later when we're in a safe place, because this is not a safe place. Can you interact with it without connecting to it, like making it move or like glow?
Unfortunately,
maybe
Harry,
just ping it without like a return signal?
I cannot influence or interact with other stones without connecting to them. But if your goal here is to make some sort of effect, I could connect to one of your friend's Hearthstones.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea. Why don't we just make Bart's Hearthstone glow?
I
can
connect to do that, but Bart has previously expressed that he did not want my influence within his stone, and thus I removed all traces of my programming. Did you still wish me to?
This is fair. Maybe you know the map that we had, that was a bit outdated, right?
Yes, of course. I was using data from a long time ago, extrapolated from the giant dream.
Maybe he doesn't seem too smart, so I don't think he committed to memory. So maybe we just show him the map and show we can interact with it just to show off a bit.
Of course, Harry. I will do this for you.
For this whole time, Harry's just being. He watches Harry just goes quiet and looks down at his stone, and like, it's just silence for like a good minute. Which is Obsidian Foot goes,
I'm not going to wait much longer.
And then at that moment, the light on Harry's Hearthstone glows, and you watch as the map lights up underneath. You watch as Obsidian Foot looks at the light, looks at Harry, looks at the light again, and goes,
You told me you could work these things. Showing me pretty fucking lights is not working. I want
this
control.
Is a map of the tunnels that we're in. It's got information and data.
I don't care about... Wait. A map of this area?
Well, I mean, like, back in the day, yeah.
Walk over
The
here,
giants.
Rabbit. Show me your fucking hand.
You know how the giants used to live here? This is their city. We have their map.
Does it... Can I use this to highlight deposits, areas where we could get more metal? More of the enriched alloy?
Well, they would have stored it. Like I said, we're connected to the giants.
So you can work their tech. But if you can work their tech, and you've got the same stones they have, that means this works on you, doesn't it?
So, that and the difference of yours being embedded in metal, not your hand like it's supposed to be. It's possible that it doesn't work completely for you because it's not being used as it's supposed to be.
Yeah, you let the devil fuck with yours, as we mentioned.
The devil told me he could make it do what I needed it to do. It worked the one time when I first picked it up.
Did he also tell you that he saw us spying on you?
What? When?
He gave us a wink.
And that he offered a deal to us?
Fucking devils. No, he did not mention that.
Well, that devils will often tell half-truths in ways that are very, very convenient for them.
Well, if you need some help breaking the contract without letting any of your other subordinates know about this deal, I think that's a win-win for both of us. So as I asked at the start of all of this, we'll show you more about your stone, we'll help you break the contract, and we'll allow to live, limbs intact.
You know, back when I was a mine inspector, when we were checking out crystals and ore that had been delivered, one of the easiest ways to check the quality was to put them against each other. When I had people come to me with proposals, where to dig, what structures to build, when I took over this, I used that same process. Get them in a room together, make them prove which one's better. You think you can do better than the devil? I think you should barter against each other.
And he reaches into his pocket and pulls out the soul coin.
Let's see you two. A lot of you cards on the fucking table. Who can outbid the other? The prize? Whoever convinces me they've got the better solution. For you,
Just
freedom,
summon
right?
him away.
That's your gift. You want freedom as your prize. That's your price.
What I've always wanted.
Shouldn't you be running this by your boss?
As he glares at you, Harry.
What, boss? I am the fucking boss here.
The lady
Incantation.
punched before.
What was that, Harry?
The lady that gave you a good punch before, she seemed like your boss.
Harry, we're going to leave it there because there's consequences for that statement. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody, as you watch as Obsidian Foot turns towards you, fully looking you up and down, little rabbit. And as he spins the hammer, you watch as the gemstone begins to glow brighter, and you feel this ungodly pain begin to radiate through your body. And as it does so, Harry, you hear,
Harry, something's wrong.
and that's the second time I've been able to finish on that same cliffhanger, and I'm going to use it the second time as well. Because it's the same cause. It's the same thing. You've somehow triggered the same thing twice, Harry. It's amazing how you do this. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. It has been wonderful playing more of Return of the Giants and sharing our adventures with you. For those of you watching us on Twitch, don't go anywhere. We're going to go and raid one of our other lovely friends of the channel. For those of you watching on YouTube or listening on the podcast, thank you so much for catching up with us. If you're watching on YouTube, it'd be amazing if you could hit that subscribe button. If you have not already, we are so close to the 1.5k subs. It'd be really cool if we hit that in the next day or so. That'd be amazing. So thank you so much. Podcast listeners, I know there's things you can do with like likes or subs or reviews and things like that. Whatever the version is that your podcast platform of choice lets you do, if you could do it, that'd be amazing. Awesome. Well, that's all from us tonight. Stay safe, stay well, and we will see you all again very, very soon. We've got our Curse of Strahd Halloween special on Monday, our Curse of Blinsky toy shop special, so make sure you join us for that. It is always fun and always chaotic. Nice little break in the horror of the normal Curse of Strahd campaign to have a little toy shop special. For those who don't know what we do, every Halloween we have the characters play toy versions of themselves in very high stakes adventures set in Blinsky's toy shop in the realm of Barovia. It is lots of fun. I think Toy Story meets Little Shop of Horrors would be the best like combination, or like Addams Family as well, I guess a bit. It's gonna be loads and loads of fun. Awesome. I think that's everything I had to share. Thank you so much, guys. We will see you all again very soon. But until then, see you next time. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.